You see, when you're walking your path in life, you will encounter people who don't align with your values, people whose energy drains you, whose words cut deep, and whose presence stirs up confusion. These are the toxic people, and how you choose to treat them will define not only your peace, but your power. Smart people don't let toxic people dictate their actions, nor do they allow them to control the room. The truth is, toxic individuals feed off the chaos they create, but smart people, strong people, know how to rise above it. First, we set boundaries, clear, unwavering boundaries that protect our peace. Smart people understand that boundaries are not a wall to keep others out. They're a fence to maintain the beauty of the garden within. When you value your time, your heart, and your mind, you recognize that not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. So you make it clear where the line is drawn, and you don't apologize for it. It's your life, your peace, and your responsibility to guard it. Next, we don't engage in drama. When someone tries to drag you into, boundaries are the invisible lines we draw to protect our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. For smart, self-aware individuals, boundaries aren't just optional, they're essential. Setting boundaries with confidence means understanding your worth and asserting your needs unapologetically. It's not about being harsh or cold. It's about preserving your energy, your peace, and your purpose. The first step in setting boundaries is recognizing that you are worthy of respect. You have the right to say no without feeling guilty. Often people struggle to set boundaries because they fear rejection or judgment, but confident people understand that anyone who truly respects and values them will also respect their limits. You can't pour from an empty cup. And maintaining boundaries is a form of self-care that ensures you can give your best to the right people and situations. When setting boundaries, clarity is key. Vague boundaries often lead to confusion, resentment, or manipulation by toxic individuals. Smart people are clear and direct about their limits. If someone is crossing a line, whether it's through disrespect, unreasonable demands, or toxic behavior, smart individuals don't hesitate to communicate exactly where the line is. For example, if someone constantly interrupts your personal time with negative energy, confidently stating, "I need space to recharge and I won't be available for conversations like this after work hours," sends a firm yet respectful message. Another important aspect of confident boundary setting is consistency. Once you've established a boundary, you must consistently enforce it. Toxic people will often test your limits, pushing to see if they can bend or break your rules. This is why standing firm is essential. Confident people understand that boundaries are not negotiable. You don't need to explain or justify your boundaries repeatedly. Smart individuals don't feel compelled to over-explain their choices. A simple, "this is what I need," is enough. You set the terms, and if someone can't respect them, they may not deserve access to you. It's also important to remember that boundaries are not about controlling others, they are about controlling your own response. You can't change how someone behaves, but you can choose how you respond to their behavior. Confident boundary setters know that their well-being isn't up for debate. When a toxic person crosses the line, they don't hesitate to remove themselves from the situation or reduce contact as necessary. They are confident in their decision to protect themselves, even if it means walking away from people or environments that no longer serve them. Setting boundaries with confidence isn't an act of selfishness, it's an act of self-preservation. It's about acknowledging that you deserve healthy relationships where mutual respect is the foundation. It's about creating space for positivity, growth, and peace in your life while keeping toxicity at bay. When you set boundaries confidently, you declare that your well-being matters and that you have every right to protect it. Ultimately, setting boundaries with confidence means you're standing in your power. You're choosing to live life on your terms, without being weighed down by the demands or negativity of others. And in doing so, you allow yourself to thrive, surrounded by those who respect and appreciate the boundaries that protect the beauty of who you are. Drama is often a toxic person's weapon of choice, a way to create chaos, stir emotions, and draw others into their negative energy. For smart individuals, the key to protecting their peace is simple. They don't engage in drama. Engaging in drama only fuels the fire, drains energy, and distracts you from your purpose. To rise above it requires emotional intelligence, self-control, and the wisdom to know when to step back. Toxic people thrive on drama because it gives them control. When they cause tension, manipulate situations, or provoke conflict, they are seeking to pull others into their emotional storm. But smart people understand that they have the power to choose their response. You don't have to react to every negative comment or action thrown your way. Engaging in drama is like jumping into quicksand. It pulls you down, and the more you struggle, the deeper you sink. The first step in avoiding drama is recognizing when it's happening. Drama often disguises itself as gossip, passive-aggressive behavior, unnecessary conflict, or even emotional manipulation. When you notice these signs, it's important to pause. Smart people don't get drawn in by reacting impulsively or emotionally. Instead, they take a moment to assess the situation and ask themselves, is this worth my energy? Will engaging in this help me or the situation? Once you recognize the drama, the next step is to disengage. This doesn't mean you ignore the situation or act as if it doesn't exist. It means you choose a mature, calm, and composed response. You may politely acknowledge the situation, but you don't dive into the negativity. For example, if someone tries to provoke you with criticism or gossip, a smart response might be, I appreciate your perspective, but I prefer not to engage in this kind of conversation. This type of response establishes that you won't be part of the drama, but you also maintain your dignity and self-respect. Disengaging also means avoiding the temptation to prove a point or defend yourself in every situation. Toxic people love to escalate arguments, and they often bait you with accusations or provocations. But wise individuals know that engaging in a back and forth with someone who thrives on drama is pointless. You don't need to win every argument or prove your worth to someone who doesn't respect it. Smart people understand that silence is often more powerful than words. By refusing to engage, you maintain control over your emotions and the situation. One of the smartest ways to avoid drama is to stay focused on your own goals and priorities. Toxic people will try to distract you with their chaos, pulling you away from what truly matters. But when you keep your eye on your vision, your dreams, and your personal growth, the noise of drama becomes irrelevant. Smart people are too focused on building a life of meaning, success, and fulfillment to get sidetracked by other people's pettiness or negativity. Another important aspect of avoiding drama is managing your emotional boundaries. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of others, especially when someone is angry, upset, or acting irrationally. But wise individuals practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean you become cold or indifferent. It means you don't let someone else's emotional chaos dictate how you feel or react. When a toxic person tries to trigger you, instead of getting pulled into their emotional state, you remain calm and grounded in your own sense of peace. You understand that their drama is a reflection of them, not you. Finally, avoiding drama is about knowing when to walk away. Sometimes no amount of calmness or wisdom can diffuse a toxic situation, and the best option is to remove yourself entirely. Smart people don't waste time trying to resolve drama with individuals who are committed to creating it. Instead, they value their peace and choose to distance themselves from people or situations that bring unnecessary stress or conflict into their lives. By refusing to engage in drama, smart people maintain control over their emotional energy and focus on what truly matters. They choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and positivity over negativity. In doing so, they protect their mental well-being and create an environment where they can thrive without being weighed down by someone else's storm. The bottom line is this: engaging in drama only lowers your vibration and distracts you from your true purpose. Smart people know that their energy is too precious to waste on negativity, and by staying above the fray, they preserve their power and peace of mind. In a world where external pressures, toxic relationships, and societal expectations can often pull you in different directions, staying true to your values is a cornerstone of living a purposeful, fulfilled life. Smart people understand that their values are their internal compass, guiding their decisions, behaviors, and interactions, especially when dealing with toxic individuals or challenging circumstances. Staying true to your values is not just about knowing what you believe in, but about having the courage to live by those beliefs, no matter the situation or the company you keep. The first step to staying true to your values is to clearly define what they are. Smart people take the time to reflect on their core principles. These could be integrity, kindness, honesty, respect, empathy, or authenticity. Whatever principles resonate deeply within you, knowing your values allows you to have a solid foundation that you can always return to when faced with difficult situations. In a world filled with distractions and noise, your values become the guiding light that keeps you aligned with your authentic self. Toxic people often try to manipulate or challenge your values. They may belittle your principles, tempt you to compromise your beliefs, or even question your integrity. But smart individuals know that no matter how much pressure or persuasion they face, their values are non-negotiable. Staying true to your values means refusing to compromise your standards to fit in, please others, or avoid conflict. It means standing firm in who you are, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. One of the reasons it's so important to stay true to your values is that they are what define your self-respect. When you compromise your values, you betray yourself, and over time, that erodes your self-worth. Smart people understand that maintaining their values is directly linked to maintaining their sense of dignity and self-respect. If, for example, you value honesty but allow someone to pressure you into being deceitful, the internal conflict will create guilt, resentment, and inner turmoil. Staying true to your values, on the other hand, brings peace of mind because you know you're living in alignment with who you truly are. Living according to your values also helps you set the standard for how others should treat you. When you hold firm to your principles, you communicate to those around you that your boundaries, beliefs, and standards are not up for negotiation. Toxic people may try to manipulate or push you to lower those standards, but staying grounded in your values sends a clear message. This is who I am, and this is how I expect to be treated. Smart people understand that by staying true to their values, they create healthy, respectful relationships where they are valued for their authenticity. Staying true to your values also means embracing integrity in your action. It's easy to claim certain values, but the real challenge comes in living them out. Toxic people may create situations where you feel tempted to act out of alignment with your principles, whether it's engaging in gossip, retaliating in anger, or taking shortcuts to achieve a goal. But smart people understand that integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It's about staying consistent in your actions regardless of the circumstances. By maintaining integrity, you not only protect your character, but also build a strong foundation of trust with others and, most importantly, with yourself. Another key aspect of staying true to your values is resilience. Toxic individuals often create situations that test your resolve, attempting to break down your principles or make you question your beliefs. But resilience comes from knowing that your values are worth standing up for, even in the face of adversity. Smart people don't let external forces dictate their inner truth. They understand that values are not meant to be convenient, they are meant to be enduring. Whether you are facing criticism, temptation, or manipulation, staying true to your values means standing firm even when it's difficult. One of the greatest benefits of living by your values is the inner peace and fulfillment it brings. When you are aligned with your values, there is no dissonance between who you are and how you act. Smart individuals experience a sense of contentment because they know they are being true to themselves. This inner harmony allows them to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. Even when faced with toxic people or difficult situations, they don't have to second guess their decisions or worry about the opinions of others because they know they are living with integrity and authenticity. Ultimately, staying true to your values means embracing who you are and being unapologetic about it. It's about recognizing that your values are what make you unique and powerful, and no one has the right to take that away from you. Toxic people may try to sway you, challenge you, or even ridicule you, but smart people understand that living by your values is a declaration of self-love and self-respect. By staying true to your values, you create a life that is authentic, purposeful, and aligned with your highest self. You attract people and opportunities that resonate with your true essence, and you repel those that don't. In the end, your values become the framework for living a life of meaning, fulfillment, and unshakable confidence. And that, my friends, is the ultimate strength. In our interactions with others, especially those who are toxic or struggling, there is a critical distinction between empathy and sympathy. Smart people know that while both are rooted in compassion, they serve very different purposes, and how you apply them can impact your emotional well-being and your relationships. When dealing with toxic individuals, the key is to practice empathy, not sympathy. Understanding this difference allows you to maintain your boundaries, protect your energy, and offer support without becoming emotionally entangled or drained. Sympathy is often a feeling of pity or sorrow for someone else's misfortune. It comes from a place of wanting to help, but can lead you to take on someone else's burdens as your own. When we sympathize, we see someone in pain and may feel compelled to fix the situation or make it our responsibility to alleviate their suffering. This might feel noble, but when it comes to dealing with toxic people, sympathy can become emotionally draining and even harmful. Toxic individuals often use sympathy to manipulate or control others, feeding off your desire to save or help them, even if it comes at your own expense. Empathy, on the other hand, is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another without losing yourself in their emotion. It allows you to acknowledge and validate someone's pain or struggles while maintaining a healthy emotional distance. Empathy says, I see you, I understand what you're going through, but I don't need to carry your burden for you. Smart people recognize the importance of empathy because it allows you to offer support without compromising your own mental or emotional health. When you practice empathy, you understand that toxic individuals often behave the way they do because of their own unresolved issues, pain, or trauma. Their negativity or harmful behavior is likely a reflection of their own inner turmoil. You can empathize with their struggle, understanding that their toxicity comes from a place of pain, but you don't excuse or enable their harmful actions. Empathy gives you the clarity to see the person behind the behavior without letting that behavior affect your own well-being. One of the key differences between empathy and sympathy is that empathy allows for emotional boundaries. When you empathize with someone, you acknowledge their feelings without letting their emotions spill over into your own. This is especially important when dealing with toxic people who often try to pull others into their emotional. They may want you to feel as upset, angry, or negative as they are. Sympathy might lead you to join them in that emotional state, feeling sorry for them or trying to fix their situation. But smart people know that this is where emotional boundaries must be maintained. Empathy says, I can understand your pain without becoming overwhelmed by it myself. Toxic people may try to make you feel responsible for their problems or emotional state. They may use guilt or manipulation to make you feel as though you need to solve their issues or constantly comfort them. But practicing empathy means recognizing that while you can offer support, you are not responsible for solving someone else's problems. You can listen, you can care, and you can be present, but you don't need to lose yourself in their drama or take on the responsibility of fixing their lives. Another important aspect of empathy is the ability to respond with compassion without being consumed by the situation. When you empathize, you can offer kindness, understanding, and even advice without feeling obligated to go beyond your capacity. For example, if a toxic person continually seeks your attention or emotional labor, empathy allows you to offer a thoughtful, compassionate response without allowing yourself to be dragged into an ongoing cycle of emotional dependency. You might say, I understand this is hard for you, and I wish you the best in dealing with it, but I don't have the emotional energy to be involved in this situation. This type of response sets a clear boundary while still acknowledging the other person's pain. In contrast, sympathy can sometimes create a sense of enabling where you feel like you have to keep offering emotional support or solutions even when it's draining you. Toxic people often thrive on this kind of attention, using your sympathy to perpetuate their cycles of negativity or manipulation. Smart people understand that while it's important to be compassionate, there's a line between offering support and becoming enmeshed in someone else's toxic patterns. Empathy also allows for personal growth and self-reflection. When you practice empathy, you can observe how someone's toxic behavior affects you and what it triggers within you. Empathy helps you recognize patterns in your own responses, whether you tend to overgive, overcare, or feel overly responsible for others. By acknowledging these patterns, you can grow stronger in maintaining your emotional boundaries and protecting your mental well-being. It allows you to reflect on the difference between caring for someone and being pulled into their toxicity. Finally, empathy encourages detachment with love. This means that while you understand and care about the toxic person, you don't allow their behavior to control your life or emotions. Detaching with love means recognizing that you can care about someone, but their emotional health is ultimately their responsibility, not yours. This is especially important when you realize that you cannot change or fix a toxic person, only they can do that. By practicing empathy, you can step back and allow them to take ownership of their own issues while maintaining your peace. In conclusion, empathy allows you to offer understanding without sacrificing your emotional well-being. It helps you keep your boundaries firm while still caring for others, and it prevents you from being consumed by toxic people's negativity or manipulations. Smart people know that empathy is a powerful tool. It fosters connection, compassion, and kindness without compromising your own mental health or integrity. Empathy says, I see you, I care, but I am not responsible for carrying your pain. That balance is what allows you to maintain your inner strength and peace, even when surrounded by toxicity. One of the most powerful moves a smart person can make when dealing with toxic individuals is the decision to walk away when necessary. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness or defeat. It's a bold act of self-preservation and empowerment. Knowing when to leave a situation that no longer serves you or is actively harming your well-being is one of the strongest acts of self-respect you can practice. It shows that you value your peace, happiness, and health over the chaos, manipulation, and negativity that toxic people often bring into your life. Walking away is about understanding that not every battle is worth fighting and that you are not obligated to remain in situations that drain you emotionally, mentally, or physically. Smart people recognize that staying in toxic environments, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a social group, only leads to greater harm over time. Toxic people have a way of consuming your energy, clouding your judgment, and pulling you into endless cycles of drama or negativity. The longer you stay, the more difficult it becomes to reclaim your peace and sense of self. Walking away is the ultimate declaration that you refuse to be part of that cycle. One of the key reasons smart people walk away from toxic situations is that they understand their worth. They know that they deserve relationships and environments that are respectful, supportive, and positive. When you stay in a toxic situation, you send a message to yourself and others that you are willing to tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or abuse. But when you walk away, you communicate that your well-being and dignity are non-negotiable. You recognize that no one has the right to mistreat you, and you take back your power by removing yourself from situations where that mistreatment is present. Walking away is not an easy decision. Toxic people often manipulate and guilt trip others into staying. They might play the victim, promise to change, or use emotional tactics to keep you entangled. But smart individuals see through these manipulations. They understand that toxic patterns rarely change without significant effort from the person responsible, and they refuse to be held hostage by false promises. Walking away requires the strength to resist these manipulations and the wisdom to trust your instincts when something feels wrong. Another important reason for walking away is to protect your energy. Toxic people drain your emotional and mental reserves, leaving you feeling exhausted, anxious, or even depressed. Smart people understand that their energy is a precious resource, one that should be invested in things that bring joy, growth, and fulfillment. When you walk away from toxicity, you reclaim your energy for yourself, for your dreams, and for the relationships that truly matter. You no longer waste time and emotional resources on someone who consistently takes without giving or who thrives on negativity. Walking away also allows you to preserve your peace. Toxic people often create chaos and conflict, constantly stirring up drama or tension. They might thrive on arguments, create unnecessary stress, or bring negativity into every interaction. This constant disruption can erode your inner peace and mental clarity, making it hard to focus on the things that truly matter in life. When you walk away, you choose peace over chaos, calm over conflict. You give yourself the gift of a peaceful mind and a calm heart, free from the toxicity that once consumed you. A powerful aspect of walking away is that it often creates space for healing. Toxic relationships, whether personal or professional, leave emotional scars. They can damage your self-esteem, shake your confidence, and leave you feeling uncertain about your own worth. By walking away, you create the space needed to heal from that damage. You remove the source of pain and begin the process of rebuilding your confidence, self-love, and sense of identity. Healing requires distance from the person or situation that caused the harm, and walking away provides the freedom to start that journey. Smart people also understand that walking away can be a form of self-empowerment. Toxic individuals often try to control or dominate others, seeking to keep them in a state of dependence or emotional turmoil. But walking away is the ultimate act of taking control of your own life. It's saying, I am in charge of my happiness, my peace, and my future. It's a way of breaking free from the hold that toxic people may have over you and reclaiming your autonomy. In doing so, you remind yourself that no one else has the power to dictate your emotional state or your path in life. Sometimes walking away isn't just about self-preservation, it's also about setting an example for others.